Hello, everyone. My name is Barbara Bass, and I am here. I'm just in the dark, so bear with me and listen. Today, I'm coming to you, October 17th, to talk about why it is that I even ask these questions to God about beauty, attraction, like what sparked my interest in why certain people look a certain way, why certain people are more beautiful than others, why certain people are less attractive than others. All these questions, what sparked them? So, I'm going to answer that question right now. As a child, I saw a girl, and she looked just like me in the face and the neck, and maybe the top part of her shoulders. But she had an extreme case of cerebral palsy. So her body was a bit different from mine. Okay, it was just different. I feel like with a person who doesn't have cerebral palsy, you can spread your whole body out and make like a 5-pointed star. But with the person who has extreme cerebral palsy, their arms and legs are kind of bent in such a way where they can't stretch, or if they do stretch, it's not where they can stretch everything all the way outwardly. Parts of their body is a little bit bent or tucked in sometimes, but you can look it up and see what cerebral palsy is, and what leads to a person being born with that or whatever. But basically, she was different, but we had the same face. And I began to question God and ask God, how is it that this girl has the same exact face as me? We look like we could have been twins. We had very similar features, where it looked like, my whole life I've been hearing people say, oh, you have a twin, and I'm like, man, the only person I feel like I look like remotely, just who I feel like I look like, is my sister and this girl who I had saw, who had the cerebral palsy, but we had the exact same face, same hair, same features, very similar. Okay. And I began to question God, like, what happened? And I was young. I think I was like 8 or 9 years old when I saw this girl. And I remember just thinking, like, how is it that we look alike in the face, in the head area, like our head, our hair? How is it that we look alike and we have similar features? But when it came to her body, something happened, and her body is not, she's in a wheelchair. She can't stand up straight or stretch out. And then those questions started to get deeper, because I noticed something that we do now and that we did back then. It's called inclusion, where you bring the children who are mentally challenged or physically challenged, you bring them into a room with the regular ed kids, the regular education. And it's called inclusion to make them not feel left out. Some of their classes have to be in the classroom with the regular ed students. So, sorry, somebody's walking by. So, from inclusion, some of the children who were in the mental challenge, the mentally challenged classes, they were mixed into the classes with us. And so my questioning of God became more and more prevalent, if that's the word I can use. But yeah, I started to question God more about, why are some people more attractive? Why are some people less attractive? Why are some people just so beautiful, when you look at them, it's like, wow. And then others are not as beautiful and kind of like plain or boring or mediocre. And that's what I felt like I was as a child. I felt like I wasn't the most brightest, beautiful one in the room. I learned that from being overlooked a lot. Some may say from being the middle child. I don't know about that, but I had lots of questions. So I would ask God, What is this about? And over the years of growing, I've asked more and more intense questions when it comes to how a person looks and eyesight and being able to see, and why certain people just look a certain way and why others look a certain way. And God answered my question. So that's how I got the answer for the pi 3.14 repeating number is God's fingerprint. And I learned that when I was like in the conscious community. I wasn't yet in a close-knit relationship with God per se. I was in the conscious community, and God was still showing me things from different angles. Even I went to school for religious studies, so God would answer my question through different angles, different religions. But when I came back to Christianity, he answered it full circle. And if you look at parts 1, 2, and 3, I'm answering why that is. There's many reasons why, but especially in part 3, the previous video before this, I'm telling you reasons of why, whether it's your purpose or your assignment or whatever it is you're supposed to accomplish. And other reasons too, why God designs us the way that he designs us. But he is the ultimate beholder of beauty, and that's where that saying comes from, that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. The ultimate beholder is God, because that's who designed us. So that's who disperses the beauty. That's who decides who's more beautiful than who. That's who does that. I was thinking about Snow White when she does that fairest thing where she looks in the mirror and she's like, who's the fairest of them all, or whatever. And she's asking the mirror. But I guess to a certain extent your own opinion matters, but at the end of the day, God is the one who disperses the beauty. That's why it's not equal. Everyone is not equally beautiful. Everyone is not equally unattractive, because God is the one who's dispersing it, just like God is the one who disperses our blessings and our money and stuff. Certain people can appear to be rich, just like certain people can appear to be beautiful through plastic surgeries and fake, like, false ways. But there are some people who are just naturally beautiful. They don't need any plastic surgery or anything done to their bone structure or their facial structure to change it. And that's because God dispersed that amount of beauty to that person. Okay? And let me just say this. For years, I've worked with students in special ed. And God blesses everyone with beauty. He blesses all of us with beauty. I've seen beautiful children in all types of education, not just regular education. Let me just make that clear. I've seen beautiful children in special needs, special education, and regular education. Because I can see the beauty in everyone, because I asked God to allow me to have that gift. But I am also aware, just like we all are, in touch with reality. We know that there are some that just look better than others. Why is that? Because God is the one. And watch the other videos, because they give you more detail. But in this video, I just want to tell you what made me even start questioning God about why we look how we look. And it's because I saw someone who looked exactly like me, but after the neck, the body was different. And I wanted to know. I was so curious, like, why is that? What happened, Lord? And God began to explain to me about generational curses and things that get passed down. Sometimes if it doesn't hit us, it hits our children. This is why I always tell children and students, whenever they're making fun of someone who may be a little bit challenged, whether that's mentally or physically, I tell them, you do not have any children yet. You cannot be making fun of people's children, because I know of people who made fun of those type of children, and now their children are that way. So you should not be making fun of anyone's children, because you don't know how your children will turn out. And like I said, some things are just generational. If it skips us, it may happen to our children, to make us know, like, what we were doing, to make us see our ways, to make us notice that maybe we haven't always been obedient. and it results in our fruit. And like I said, God knows everything from beginning to end. He knows the levels of witchcraft that we will do in our life. And I feel like the levels of witchcraft that we do, the more witchcraft and lying and manipulation that you do, the further you get away from that 3.14. And if it ain't you, it'll be your child. So, sorry, my stomach is starting to growl and that's embarrassing. So I'm about to get off of here. But, yeah. Also, those pictures in my thumbnail, I hope y'all don't be expecting me to come on here looking like that. Because, no ma'am, no sir. I'm not doing all that. Maybe if I'm just already looking like that, yeah. But the makeup and the pictures that I post in the corner or on my thumbnails, I'm just laughing because I'm like, I hope people don't expect to click on here and see me looking like that. But anyway, just know I can look like that. But yeah, I choose to come on here looking like this. All right. But anyway, the message is all that matters. All right. All right. Love you guys. Bye.